So good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to Pivoting Your Website Message for today's environment. This webinar is sponsored by SCORE, Central New Jersey. I'm Jane Meyer, and I'm a SCORE mentor and a member of the Central Jersey SCORE chapter. If you're not familiar with SCORE, Sue, can you switch my slide for me, please?
Sure.
Thank you. If you're not familiar with SCORE, we are a national organization and a resource partner of the Small Business Administration. And our mission is to help small businesses get started, to grow, and to thrive. And we offer our services mostly for free. And those services include 3 areas. We offer seminars, business seminars, and webinars like you're attending today. You can see the upcoming webinars that we're having at our website, which is centraljersey.score.org, and register for those. We have lots and lots of business resources, probably any topic that you can think of we have. So again, at our website, go take a look, download the materials that would be helpful for you. There's no charge for those resources. And I think the most important thing that we do is offer mentoring. One-on-one mentoring to small businesses. So our SCORE business experts would pair up and work with you on either getting started or any aspect of your business that you need help with. Again, go to our website, sign up for a mentor, and we would really look forward to working with you. So today, slide please. So today's business environment, who knows? Who knows what that's going to look like tomorrow, 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months? We really don't know. But Susan Wilcox, who's president of eDynamic Marketing, is going to talk about getting ready for re-entering the market, some things that you really will need to do, regardless of what that business environment is going to look like in the future. So she's going to offer you some really great tips. So Sue, thank you very much for working with SCORE and providing your expertise to all of us.
I am happy to do it, and thank you for inviting me. As Jane just said, one thing that we know for sure is that business is changing. It has changed. And if we're going to come out of this as business owners on solid ground, we have to make sure that we're changing with the times. So right now, the most important thing that you can do is take time to focus your business. So if your business is focused, it will grow. And in uncertain times, what we need to do the most is develop a very clear communication to our customers. And you need a clear message. What do you do? How can you help them? What problem can you solve? You need a strong website. If your website is confusing or misleading in any way, you're going to lose your customer. And you need consistent marketing. You've got to be out there. You've got to be in front of them. If you're not talking right now, somebody else is talking to them for you. You've got to get in front of your clients, your customers, and stay there. Let's take a look. The first thing you have to worry about in today's environment is your website strategy. You have a lot of marketing, but right now everything has moved online essentially, and everybody is going to go to your website and say, how, are they open? What services are they offering? Has it changed? So the first thing you have to make sure is clear is your website. It has to have a clear message. When you think there's a lot of things that you can do online. You can there's social media and email and AdWords and all of these things that we can do online. But the goal of all of those marketing tactics is to get the customer to your website where you can complete the sale, tell them everything they need to know so that they're confident and can make a decision. So if your website message is not clear, you're just wasting time and money on all the other tactics that you're using, social media, AdWords, etc. Must have, and you must have a clear message. You don't have to do a complete redesign of your website, change your headline up a little bit. I'm going to just give you a couple of examples. I don't think that this should take a long time. You can make some very simple changes that will put you in a completely different light for your customers. So when they do a search, they're gonna, type into Google. Google represents over 90% of all searches in the United States. So they're gonna type into Google what they need. I'm looking for new lawn furniture. Whatever it is they're searching. They're gonna get results of 10 to 15 locations where they can find new lawn furniture. They're gonna start clicking through. Each one of those clicks, they're gonna stay on the website less than 15 seconds. If they get to the website and they don't see exactly what they want, they're gonna say, this isn't for me, and they're gonna move on to the next website in the search results. The average website visit is less than 15 seconds, and every year I'm watching that number get shorter and smaller and smaller. They're spending less and less time. People are just scanning it real quick. If they don't see what they want, they move on. So in those if you can just capture them for the first 15 seconds, you've made a big improvement in the likelihood that you're going to get the sale, and you can hope then for, of course, closing the sale. So here's what you got to do in the first 15 seconds. You got to pass the 15-second test. Number one, who are you? First thing they're going to do is look in the top corner of the website to see the logo and make sure they feel confident with the company they're buying from, that you're legit. Then the next thing, they want to know how you're going to make their life better. Your headline has to be a customer-focused statement. And I'll show you an example of that as we go on. And how do they take an action? So in the first 15 seconds, you've got to do three things. Who are you? How are you going to make their life better? And how do you take an action? Let's look at this for a second. All right, I just counted to 15 seconds. Do you remember? Who are they? What does that company sell? When I show this slide, a lot of people say they cut grass, they mow lawns. They're really not sure what they do. So here it is again. I'll give you a couple more seconds to look at it. Still, when you're focused on it, what do they do? We don't know. So if you look at a website redesign for them, what you learn is they're actually an environmentally friendly pest control. Did you get that? No. So how do you make their life better? You've got environmentally friendly pest control. You got a family and a dog. You don't have to worry. They're going to make it safe and get rid of the pests. It's safe for your family, your pets, and the environment. Let our family protect your family. They're not a big organization. This is a much cleaner website. And then as they scan, because they're going to look really quick as they scroll down the page, in very simple terms, they classify what areas of protection do they serve. So they've got pest control, termites, lawn care, mosquito, and rodents. In just a matter of seconds, I've scanned the majority of the website. The website is longer. I can't show you the whole thing in a screenshot. The first 15 seconds, this is about what they would see. You can see who they are. Their logo is clear. We know how they make your life better, and they can see how to take the next step. Get a free estimate. And you know what? Most people, when they first come to a website, aren't quite ready. They're still shopping. So maybe you have to give them some information. And here they have a lead generator for 5 signs you have termites. And a lead generator is some information that we provide to the customer in hopes that they'll give us their email address so that we can reach out and contact them and say, hey, look at all the services we provide. So when you come to a website, our eye goes first to the corner where the logo is, then across to where the call to action is. If you've got a whole bunch of stuff up in this corner of your website, this top right corner, then you're cluttering it, and you're making it harder for people to see the steps you want them to take. And then a big customer focused headline. Let's take a look at it. So who are we? What do you have to do? You need consistent logo, a consistent branding, and you need a good logo, something that people can see and read quickly and easily. If your logo is very graphic or it's up against dark colors, it's difficult for customers to read it. If it's difficult to read, they're not going to remember it. So make sure you've got a good logo. Whatever colors you're using your logo, those become your brand colors, and those colors should show up on your website and be consistent to everything that you do. You want to make sure that your logo is placed on your website in a prominent place without any interference. You don't want to place your logo over the top of an image or crowded backgrounds. So in a nice, clear location and very easy to read. If you put, every once in a while we joke when we're building a website, customers sometimes come to us with logos that they've built or made, and there's so much stuff in them, it's not even a logo anymore, it's a billboard. Make sure that it's just your company name without a lot of fuss around it. That's what you need. No billboards. Now, we get to the headline. What problem do you solve? What is the customer looking for? That's what the headline should be. So if when I'm looking for somebody to get rid of pests on my lawn, I want to make sure it's still safe for my family. I don't want to be spreading a lot of harmful chemicals, that kind of thing. So what does the customer want? What I want when I go looking for lawn care, pest control, I want to know that it's safe for my family, first off, for my pets. I don't want my dogs or my cats getting into it. And I don't want anything to happen to the environment either. Very environmentally conscious, don't want to be spreading bad chemicals. So how do you get rid of a pest safely? If that's what I'm looking for, that's what the headline needs to say. So what is your customer looking for? So if you're leading with what you do, you got to reel that back in and turn it around so that it's stated in a way that the customer gets the answer to their questions. We're just trying to satisfy whatever. When you think about the problems that a customer has, they sort of occur on 3 different levels. And if you can identify on each of those levels, what's the physical problem that they have? What is it that they want? So if I am looking for a new bicycle, I want that's the physical thing. I need a new bike. But on the emotional level, depends on where I'm coming from. Maybe I want one of those beach cruisers for down the shore. Maybe I want more of a racing bike. I want to look cool. So what's the emotional level? What can we plug into to understand where the customer's coming from? And then the intellectual level. And that's what, not how they feel about their problem, but what they think should be happening. So when I'm thinking about the bike, well, I should be able to get a reasonable beach cruiser in some real fun colors at a reasonable price. I shouldn't have to pay a lot of money, and this should be available to me. A lot of times the intellectual kind of thing is almost philosophical. People feel that this is their right. So let's say I was looking for a caterer. So on the intellectual level, I'm having a party, but I shouldn't, and I'm buying all this food. I've got a lot of food, so I should be getting a discount because I'm buying in bulk. That's with the thinking intellectually. If you can identify and understand your customer's problems on those 3 levels, usually you can take those needs and wants and thoughts and make a really compelling line to go with it. And I'm going to show you some. If you're not, I'll give you an example in just a minute. We're going to build towards a sample here. We also need to give them, the next thing we need after we tell them who we are, solve their problems, is how do they take an action? Have you ever been on a website and you can't find the buy now button? It's frustrating. It's like, okay, I want this. How do I get it? So make sure you have a big, bold button. I kind of like gold when I'm building a website because guess what? Amazon does it. All the big companies, Netflix, Wayfair, everybody's using gold as the buy now button. The human brain has already been trained to look for a gold button when they're ready to take that action. If gold matches your website or, it stands out nicely on your website, go with gold. If it's good enough for Jeff Bezos, it should work on our sites, right? Use action-oriented text like buy now, save money, get some sort of information, reserve your spot, try it free. These are all very short and direct action-oriented things. Don't say, don't try to be clever here. It's not going to help you. Make sure your button is large and the text is legible. Again, use some block lettering. Create urgent when you can. Limited time off would be helpful. Bright colors. And when you put it, we say keep it above the scroll line. If I have to wait through your website to figure out where to buy it, you've buried your call to action, and that's not going to help the customer take the action that you want. In fact, it's okay on a website to repeat the call to action several times throughout so that no matter where they are on the page, as they're scrolling, there's always a call to action button available to them. So we've done 3 things so far on the website. We've told them who we are, how we make their life better, and we've given them a call to action. One more thing we want to talk about, though, is a lead generator. Most of the people who come to your site are not ready to buy just yet. They're still shopping around. So they're going to shop for a little while on your page and then click off and go check another page. We don't want them to forget who we are. So we want to develop some information that reinforces what we're selling. If I'm a party planner, maybe I do 55 great superhero birthday party ideas. That would be a great lead generator for somebody in the party planning business. It gives the reader information that they need. And when they download that information, then in order to download it, they need to give you their email address. Now you're building your email list so that you can put those readers into a sales funnel that will hopefully convert them into a client. So here's a sample of what a good website would look like. And I'm going to tell you that this is a completely fictitious website. It doesn't exist. Just kind of made it up. I found a little butterfly online and made a very simple logo. But my fictitious company is a handcrafted greeting card company. So top left corner of the site, I've got my logo. It's against a white background. The font is kind of in line with craftiness, but still very simple and easy to read. Across, now this is the eye pattern. We've done lots and lots of eye pattern testing on websites. So people look here first, then they come across, they follow to the right, they look in the other corner, and then they come down to the center of the header. That's the eye pattern. So we've established who we are. Over here, we're going to keep a call to action as simple as we can with big block letters, action-oriented message, shop now. You might have 2 or 3 menu items here. If you still have 8 menu items up, you've got to keep this area as clean and clutter-free as you can. Me too many options. I don't know where to go and I get lost. Things like contact us, frequently asked questions, those kinds of things can go down below on the page in a footer area. So on my headline, I've got an appealing, my header picture here. I've got an appealing picture. I show a sample of the product and it's kind of cheery and bright, right? Ideally, you might show a customer who's happy with your service. Anytime you can show the customer being happy, that's a good image. So that, and then we have a headline: make it special, make it unique, handcrafted cards made uniquely for you. And our first headline on the page is make someone feel special. So how have we crafted this headline? The headline says, make it special, make it unique. Somebody who's looking to buy a handcrafted card wants a little bit more. That person isn't happy with picking something up at the dollar store, you know, real quick right before the party. They place a value in greeting cards, and they're looking to make the person they're going to send that greeting card feel special. So that's what our headline does. It talks directly to the motivations and the feelings and that philosophical, like, this isn't just a greeting card. This is, I want someone to feel special because they got it. And, you know, so we've taken care of the basic need, the physical need, which here is the card. We've taken care of the emotional need, that they want to make somebody feel special. They want to reach out and touch them and get, you know, provide some happy emotion to the person they're giving it to. And then it's also a little bit philosophical. You know, I want something unique. This person I'm giving my card to is special to me. We have a special bond, and I want this card to show it. So they're handcrafted cards made uniquely for you. We've got them on a physical need, we've got them emotionally, and we've even got them intellectually, sorry about that, as well. So that's a good website to get started with. I'm going to build on it just a little bit more, but this is a good start. Now, we're facing a pandemic, and so many, you know, things have changed. Business has changed. If I leave this website up during the pandemic, I'm sort of coming across as tone deaf. Like, you guys didn't change. Don't you realize everything is different? So we've got to make some changes. So based on the pandemic, I'm going to do a couple things to this this website that I've created. All of a sudden, my customers' needs have changed. And let's just tell you know, we knew how our customer felt prior to COVID-19, but now it's different. Now it isn't just, I want them to say special. We're missing celebrations. We can't go to someone's house and celebrate with them. We're missing graduations and weddings and birthdays, important milestones in people's lives. People are feeling isolated, frustrated. There's probably a little bit of fear underneath all of that too, like, what's going to happen, and am I going to get it, and are the people that I'm not with, are they okay? So now my card buyer is in a completely different state. She still needs I assume it's a female, I'm sorry for the guys out there, but she's still in, she still has the physical need. She needs to send a card. We've got a nice card, but emotionally, it's not just about making somebody feel special anymore. It's about staying connected. Like, I know we're not together physically, but I'm with you emotionally. So my message has changed. And then I still philosophical. I want it to be more than just a simple card. I want them to know I'm not with you, but I still care very much. So I've changed my headline to say, stay connected. Make someone feel special. Handcrafted cards made uniquely for you. And then I just moved the headline I had originally down below, and I say, make it special, make it unique again. And then I would go into more of my sales pitch below this header. So that's how, this is a good example of how to change your website because of COVID-19 and how to address your customers' needs. Those three things, what does the customer really want? It's on those three levels: physical, emotional, and intellectually. Now, what I've done here, I promised you I'd continue to build on this. I repeated my call to action, shop now, so I can take them right to a shopping area. But I know they might not be ready. So 5 tips for writing cards and letters. So now I've bought this special card. I've got to say something special inside of it. What am I going to say, and how am I going to say it? Here's a great little lead generator. Maybe if I was about to buy a card, give me a tip on what should I write and how should I say it. That's going to be a good lead generator. The next thing I'm going to do, and this is, because of the COVID situation, I'll probably add another button that addresses the fact that everybody's operating procedures are different right now. We may or may not be able to get people in our stores at this point in time. So when COVID first hit, everybody, rightly so, put up a big yellow banner on the top of their website, said, we're open, we're taking precautions, these are the things we're doing, we're sanitizing, our staff is protecting you, you can't come in without a mask. So we've made that announcement. But we're at that point, what are we, 8 weeks in? People are, they have COVID fatigue, and they desperately need to start feeling like they're getting back to normal. So at this point in time, I'm going to tell you, take down those big yellow banners. We still need to communicate that our operating procedures are a little bit different. So a big action button that says we are open, see our hours. When your client clicked on that button, they'd be taken to a page that said, okay, as of this week, May 18th, are we on May 18th? As of May 18th, we are operating, here's our business hours, we're curbside only, we are online, we can deliver, whatever you're offering or whatever the status of your business, go ahead and put that. And then if you want to give them some reassurance about how you're sanitizing and protecting them, that's probably a good page to put it on. So we're still addressing COVID-19 and that our business procedures have changed. We're just not batting people over the head with it anymore. Time to give everybody a break. Everybody knows everything's changed. Communicate how we've changed, but we don't have to do it in a big yellow hazard banner on the top of every website. So this says, this does the job. Again, we've changed the headline to meet the changing needs of our customers. So think about your customer. What were they feeling before all this happened, and how has it changed, and how should your message change to meet those new needs? So as we pull this all together, how do you craft your message? And now's a good time for everybody to take out a pen and paper and just jot down a couple of notes. What does your customer need? What's important to them? And how can I get their curiosity up a little? How do I solve their problem? I don't want to be too clever. I want to solve their problem, but I want to, provide some leading sentences as well. So what does your customer need? Take a second, write that down, and pull your thoughts together. Next thing you want to start to think about is, how can you help? What are the 3 to 5 benefits you offer? What makes you special? Now's your time to set up your unique selling proposition. Why me? Why should they buy from me? How can you help? That would come beneath that header image. That would be the next thing that we'd want to say. And then what's your call to action? Is it very clear? Everybody has a different call to action. Schedule a meeting, call for an estimate, order now. Whatever your call to action is it clear? Can I find it easily on your website? Do you repeat it on your website so I don't have to scroll around and find it? So what's that one call to action? I'm just kind of going slow here so that people who are writing can catch up. I'm going to make these slides available so you can walk through this. I'm going to just keep moving now. So here's some mistakes I want to help you out with, things you want to avoid. The first thing is you don't clearly communicate. You mask the benefit of what you're offering the customer under cute and clever advertising, but you don't tell them exactly what you do. Make sure you're clear. You're using images that don't represent the business, especially a lot of misuse of stock photography. And I'm not saying that stock photography is bad. I'm saying you've got to make it fit your business. So use images that represent you. Don't use insider language. You know, I'm a marketing agency, and I could easily get into strategic analysis and reach and frequency and conversion. I could use all words, but those aren't the words my customers want. They just want clear marketing and fix my website. I'm embarrassed by it, you know. So I have to tone back. I'm working with somebody right now to build a website, and she is sort of a financial advisor. She does basic bookkeeping, but her real focus is on helping people project forward and their cash flow and planning their profits. Again, we had to write it first so that she could get her thoughts out. And then we had to go back and take out all the insider language and reframe those bullets and the communication that we were writing to be in her customer's words, not hers. Another big thing, websites that have tons and tons of information on them, lots of words. Everybody is busy with not reading. You don't want to overwhelm the customer, because what's going to happen is like, oh, I can't, they're going to see that and they're going to say, I can't even process this. If you can't tell me what you do very quickly, I don't have time to listen, and they're out of there. Now, it's okay to provide the information and get into detail, but you don't want to do that on your homepage. Keep your homepage simple and clean. If the customer needs more information, put it on some backup pages, but don't overwhelm them. That your homepage should, you need to have a minimum of 500 words on your page, but you don't need more than 1,000 to 1,500 words on your homepage. It should be very simple. It should be sort of, you know, a table of contents of what you offer. Don't have a clear call to action. I can't figure out where the buy now button is. That's always a problem. Make sure that it's prominently displayed. Pages that are not scannable. I can't quickly scan it and, you know, in just a moment, figure out what you offer and how you're gonna, if it's gonna fit my needs. If it's too much information and I've got to dig through it, I am off that page. I don't have time for that. People don't repeat their message enough. Marketing is an exercise in memorization, right? So at the top, we have to say it 2 or 3 more times as they go down the page. First time, they were still in that 15-second, oh, what can you do for me kind of phase. They haven't started to focus yet on what you offer. So you've got to say it first at the top just to get them hooked, and then again to re-communicate it, and then maybe even a third time on the homepage to reinforce how you're going to solve their problem. It's an exercise in memorization. You have to repeat yourself. It's going to seem funny to you, but it will make sense to your customer. And then don't try to be too clever. When you get fancy and cute, you lose clarity. The message has to be clear and direct and straightforward. That's a better headline than something that's trying to be too fancy and clever. And you certainly don't want to be doing a play on words at this point. So just be as clear as you can be. Remember, your client, when they're on a website, they're moving fast. So, you know, the clever thing, they may miss it just because they're traveling, you know, they're trying to get to an answer as fast as they can. So just a few mistakes, but here's a few tips to help you frame up your message in a way that will work. So have a controlling idea. What's the one main point you'd like your customer to walk away with? Start with the problem solution. What's the problem you has and how do I solve it? So, you know, on the headline, say, here's how I can make your life better. And then right beneath it, say, we understand this is your problem and here's how I'm going to help you solve it. Those are good sentences for immediately below the header. in order to hook the reader, you really have to understand what they want emotionally. In my sample greeting card company, changing it to stay connected. Right now, that's where that customer is. That customer has an emotional need to be with people. They're feeling isolated and they're frustrated. They're missing important things in people's lives. So hook the reader with what you know is going to be important. Make sure it's visual. We live in a very, very, very visually snobby world right now. They want pretty pictures. If you can invest in a professional photographer, that's great. But really, the pictures you take on with a cell phone will get the job done, at least in a digital. If I'm printing, I might need a higher quality image, but for websites and email and social media, what you can produce on your phone is absolutely fine. The quality's there and the images are good enough. So just make sure you've done a good job with your pictures. You've lit them well. They're not blurry, those kinds of things. Use economy of words. Say what you have to say in the least amount of words. If you can do it short and sweet, look at every sentence. Get rid of commas. Commas are not your friend when it comes to a website. We're not writing a thesis. We're just trying to make sure that when the customer's on that page, they're walking away with the key benefits that you offer. Okay. So the less you say, the easier it is going to be for them to remember it. Make sure you're using active language, not passive language. You want to make sure that you're bringing them in and you're including them. And this is a here and now. And active language is going to seem more urgent. Like, let's do this right now. Active language is important. And again, you want to make it clear, not clever. Last slide, it was don't make it clever, make it clear. Changed it for this slide. Clear, not clever. Very, very important to making sure that they remember it. And that's really what you want to do. The average customer right now sees over 5,000 ads every single day. Your job as a marketing person is to cut through all that clutter and noise. If you make it too long, too clever, too complicated, they're not going to remember it. They're going to remember what's important to them. That's why we make it emotional. And they're going to remember something that's short and sweet. And the simpler you can make your website, the better. After you've written your website for the words that you want, first go through and take out the insider language, then go back through and take out as many words as you can. What words don't you need? The less language you use, the better. It's going to make all of your communication come across clearer. So just, a couple of takeaways, and I didn't want to overload you today. I know we're probably going to be done in less than an hour, but if you do just these things, this is a big enough assignment for one day. But if you walk away and just manage to get through this, you're going to have changed your website in a positive way, and you're going to change it so that it reflects what's going on in the world today. So the takeaway for today is, that website message has to be clear. You've only got that reader for 15 seconds, and you've got to establish who you are, how you can make their life better, and how do they take an action. We know that this lockdown has changed everything about your business and you're struggling, but you have to keep in mind that it's also changed everything about your customers' lives too. And what they needed before this happened may not be what they need now. Or they may still need it, but they feel differently about it. I needed a birthday card before this. Birthdays are still happening. I just feel differently about the birthday card that I'm sending. So, if you can just change that message to reflect the changing needs of the customers, you will have had a good marketing day, right? And if you need help making that happen, I'd be happy to help. I'd be happy to look at anybody's website, or to maybe if you're about to change the message and you just want to say, hey, what do you think of this message? I'd be happy to take 15 minutes and just walk you through what might work for your particular situation. You can reach out to me at susan@edynamicmarketing.com, and we some time together. I'd be, like I said, happy to look at your website, happy to help you modify what your message is for the customer now that we're facing COVID-19. So with that, I'm gonna ask Jane if we've got any questions. I'd be happy to answer any.
One quick question. Someone wants to know if we're able to email this session to people. So
yeah, Jane, if you give me the list, I'll send out the slides to everybody. Okay. And Jane, you said you were going to post it to your recording, and you're going to post it to the Central Jersey.
Yes, we are recording this, and it'll be on our centraljersey.score.org website in maybe tomorrow. So you could go there to view it again. But I'll send the email list to Susan, and she'll send you a copy of her slide deck. We had one other question from someone who offers stress management service, and she did that in person, and now she's shifting to an online business. So do you have any suggestions for her?
Yeah, you know, I was just in a group earlier this morning with somebody who does yoga and meditation, and we were talking about stress. You know, everybody's getting forced online. It's not necessarily the best method of business, but it's becoming more and more accepted. And I'll tell you that, you know, I have one restaurant, and they were adamant they didn't want to sell online. And even though we had a online system set up and sitting there waiting for him to start taking orders online, he was resistant. It was going to change the way he did business, and he didn't want to do it. Because of this, thank God we had it sitting there and we put it online. Guess what? He's doing better, and he's got less staff managing it because it's managing it itself. He doesn't need the people there to manage it. So that's a good thing. So people both business owners are becoming more accepting. And then I'm going to flip that around. I'll tell you, my mother-in-law is 85 years old, and she was very proud of the fact that she did not need the internet. This was something that was too complicated and fussy in her life, and she didn't need it. Well, guess who's very proud that she is surviving quite well on her own right now? She's ordering food online. She's getting services online. She's getting her medical prescriptions. So both businesses are becoming more accepting of being online, and customers are being more receptive to doing things online. It's becoming the standard mode of doing business right now. So I think, you know, you're doing it. I have to look at your specific messages and how you're handling stress to help you rephrase it, but I'd be happy to do that. But I think you're in the right direction. Everything's got to go online right now, and I wouldn't worry too much about how people feel about it or how it's being accepted. I think it's become standard operating procedure at this point on both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
I don't know if I answered the question, but without seeing your specific message, I can't really get into your messaging. But again, call me and I'll look at your website or help you craft a message.
So that would be great. And also, if you go to centraljersey.score.org, you could look for a SCORE mentor. So in addition to talking to Sue, who has, you know, great depth of expertise in this, you could also ask for a SCORE mentor, and one of us could walk you through the process as well. I know in some of the small businesses that we work with, several of my clients have shifted to online businesses, and they're having the same pretty experience that Sue talked about. Their online business is doing pretty well, and people like it. And probably going forward, those businesses, in addition to offering their in-person services, will expand to doing the online services as well. So it can be a good thing in the long run. Let me see here. What else? The Central Jersey website where we'll post this is centraljersey.score, SCORE.org. And I think that's up on the screen right now. Another question, as a small service business owner, I find that changing the website is difficult. Is there a recommended website type that can be changed in plain language?
There's so many, maybe you could tell us what type of a website you're currently on. Like, is it a WordPress? Is it Wix or Square? There's so many. I don't know where you are and what the difficulty might be, but that's why I didn't today. Everybody's busy enough changing their business model. I didn't want to go through a whole new website redesign in this presentation. I wanted to just change the headline because that's important.
Usually WordPress, Sue.
It is WordPress. The best thing that I can offer you is there's a lot of simple how-to WordPress videos out there. Actually, one that I like is by a company called Yoast, Y-O-A-S-T, Yoast.com. They have some very straightforward videos. Now, the primary focus of their business is helping to improve the SEO or the search engine optimization on your page, but they do have a basic web how-to WordPress video that is 20 to 30 minutes long, so it's real basic, but it's helpful. I would tell you to start there. If you're having trouble, then, this is one of those things, there's been research that says the average business owner, the value of their time is about $365 an hour. So you have to ask yourself, is it worth my time to do it, or should I pay somebody else to do it? A lot of it, depending on your needs, you might want to go with more of a marketing company, but there are a lot of freelancers out there who will help you. Just make sure that the person who's helping you is really vested. When I hear, oh, my neighbor, my cousin, my child, I think, yeah, but these people are just trying to offer you some help, and they're not going to be reliably there for you. So make sure whoever it is vested a little bit. But there's plenty of inexpensive freelancers who can help. I have a couple recommendations. If you want to reach out to me, I can set you up. If you need more in-depth help, I'm happy to call. Does SCORE have somebody who will walk them through a website?
Yes, you can reach out to a SCORE mentor.
SCORE mentors are free and they can help. But it's the kind of thing you want to really get a handle on it on your own, because websites that don't change very often don't rank well in Google. Google is looking for websites that are active and current and flourishing. And so one way that they judge that is based on how frequently you update your website. So frequent updates are important. So if you can, invest some time and learn how to put something up or make the decision that you're going to invest in having somebody else do it, it is important to continually update your website just so that you rank well with Google.
We have another question, Sue. This person has worked in a small medical private practice, which is a high-risk environment. Would you encourage posting videos of new ambulatory care, of the new ambulatory care environment in order to convince customers?
Absolutely. Anytime that you can show the customer that you're clear, that you've taken an action, that, you can write it in words, but when you show it to them and they can see it for themselves, it's a whole different story. And I'll give you an example. A couple of years ago, I was working with somebody who had a business, actually he sold hearing aids. So most of his clientele were elderly. There was a few weeks where the Boston area had gotten hit with like 5 feet of snow and everything had come to a standstill. Meanwhile, though, in his town, he was just outside of Boston, the mayor walked by and said, "You've got the cleanest walk in the whole town." Literally, there was not a drop of snow from his parking lot, up to the sidewalk, up his front step and into the store. People could very safely get in and out of his store. So I had him go take a videotape of that, and we showed it, and sure enough, people started coming. He literally, because of the snow, people weren't coming in. So if you can show them the changes you've made with a quick video, that's going to be important. I'd put that on social media too. I'd put that out in email, dear customers, we've got new procedures in place. Here's what it's going to look like when you come in, and we've taken caution that we can. Absolutely do that. It's a good idea.
I think that's all the questions that we have. So you've been a great audience today. We want to thank you for joining us. Reach out to Sue, and she'll help you with your 15-minute review. Reach out to SCORE. We'd love to talk with you as well. And good luck going forward.
We will get through this, right?
We will get through this. We'll stay positive, and we'll get through it all. Okay.
Right.
Have a great day. Thank you, Sue.
Everybody.
Again, we appreciate your help. Bye-bye.
Right.